Process of design. I'm just not a designer to make things aesthetically.
Hi everyone, thanks for tuning into De-Education. So this is a platform where I bring designers from different aspects to talk about their design education and their design journey. So on this episode, we have a very special friend with us. Hi Shailja, welcome to De-Education.
Hi, so excited to be here.
So Shailja, how was your day?
Day just started. I'm in New York, and so far so good. It's a Sunday. The best way to do it. The best day to do it.
That's wonderful. So if you could give a brief about yourself to our audience out there.
So I started my design journey as a student of video and film design in 2013 with having a bachelor's degree in design because I knew that none of the major streams is for me. And I applied to one design college, which was Symbiosis. And others, I was like, let me try journalism, let me try media studies, something different because pata tha ki science, BCom, BA wala scene, I cannot do it. So it's fine. Then applied to Symbiosis, got through Symbiosis like first time me and everything. And I didn't even look back to other colleges and everything because by then I was very convinced that I want to do graphic design. But when I entered and when I saw everything and my love for photography was always there, and there were some seniors who were doing video and film design, and when we started talking to him, when I started talking to that a few seniors and our professors, I realized that I like telling stories more than I like graphic designing. So then I started doing video and film designing, which is initially like course for the storytelling course for designers. It's so amazing, and I learned to work in teams. That was my biggest learning in that 4 years. And during that time, I knew that I needed to go reach beyond just design, and that's how after a lot of research, after thinking how to do it, and after taking that final step, I decided to come here and come to New York and come to Pratt Institute and do design management, which is essentially a MBA for designers, very simply put it. But what Pratt does is or what our department does, and Mary and all the professors, Mary is our chairperson. What she does is that, and the entire goal of the course is to think about designing anything, like either a business or a product or service or anything, but it's either giving profit to the earth or giving profit to people. It's not just about profit to money. So it's about more larger thinking. It's all about more better thinking and something for the people. If you are designing something, it's for the people, it's not for just a client and something like that. So, and now I call myself a business designer for social services, and I want to make products and services, for profit products and services for the earth and people. So that's my introduction.
Thank you so much, Shailja. So what made you choose design management right after your BDes at Symbiosis?
So after the BDSS symbiosis, I worked for 2 years with my father, and I was doing marketing for him. It's a family business, so like that marketing was also very different. And what made me choose was that I was searching for something already. I knew it, and the best way to, so one of my friends here was had combined design and technology, and she was doing interactive arts. So that made me think like there are more options in studying design in Europe and in the US, where it's more advanced and everything, like it's more taken, the field has been taken care of, sort of. And I knew that there is something called there would be an opportunity to mix design and business. That was my main aim. I needed to study business in order to understand. I was always an entrepreneur person. I knew that I don't want to do job. I knew that there is at some point of time I am going to start my own business. I came to design management with a different thought, and I graduated with a different thought. So that also happened. Yes,
That's wonderful,
that's
Shailja. So
how.
what's the reason behind choosing Pratt? Like, there's other SDM courses and other stuff being offered by Parsons and other institutes, right? So why only Pratt?
So I did a lot of research. I applied for even colleges in Italy and UK, and even Parsons and SCAD. SCAD also has a program. The process of choosing Pratt was solely based on the curriculum, because this was a very new field for anybody to enter. And for me, if I am pursuing a higher education, I want to be 100% sure of what they are teaching me. And Pratt was the only college where I found that the curriculum was so amazingly laid out for somebody from a very different perspective, from a very different field, coming to study business. And one more thing that I personally was thinking about, that if somebody wants to do masters in design, Europe is a great place to do it, because in Europe, design has explored and experienced way more. But if you want to do something regarding business or something regarding like a technology kind of a thing, US is still like a great place for it. Then another thing was that New York has been my dream since Kal Ho Na Ho. So since 2001. So when I saw the opportunity and everything fit so well, and I was very, very sure about the course only because of the curriculum. And after speaking to Mary on our interview, I realized like it's something bigger than just designing and just business. It's something more, and that it made me intrigued to study this.
That's wonderful. So you were mentioning, right, ki it was all on your self-exploration and you did everything on your own with not much of guidance and all. So how was that path?
So crazy. For 1 year, I cannot even tell you, because I was all over. First, you start by shortlisting colleges. So that took me good 3 months to do it. And I was very confused. I was like, do I want to do video film design again? Do I want to do advertising? Do I want to do design management? And after reading and reading and reading, there are just some gut feelings which tell you that, okay, you need to go with this, or nah, not for this. So that took like around 3.5 months. And I knew that I didn't want to go through a coaching thingy, because then they also don't know much about design education. They just know about the major fields and everything. So the entire, I only have to shortlist and give it to them, give the colleges to them. And what the consultancy do is that they tell you that this is the college, this is the way you go about it. But come to at the end, you have to write your own SOP. At the end, you have to do all your own things. So why do I give that extra resource and extra money and extra effort to that person? So when I started doing my research, that was a crazy time. If somebody needs help, I can help you, because I know how how maddening it is. But so when I started doing that, and then I started seeing that UK requires different things, like Europe requires different things. They require IELTS, and US required either TOEFL or IELTS. So first process was that I have IELTS. So if I want to apply in the US, I can still apply through IELTS, and if I want to apply in the Europe, I can still do it. But then, as and when my focus became more concentrated for the US, like with my own exploration, I cannot even tell you how that came. But like just continuous reading of curriculum, just searching different things on Google, just like just a lot of searches on Google, and like different meanings, like what does project management mean, what does, if they are teaching us law and negotiation, what does that mean? So all of those things. Then after that, I was where was I? Yes, then I started writing my SOP. I took help from one of my friends who was studying in the US, and I took help from a person who I knew writes very well. Even though I write very well, I needed some that extra guidance. They were just changing my grammar. They were just kind of that. So I like probably Grammarly would be a better opinion for that now. But I wrote all my experience. Like I come from a multi-designer field, and like gaining a design management course would make me a very diverse designer. That's one of the things that I pointed out in my SOP. So after, I think it took me 3.5 months, 4 months to write SOP. Then during that time, I gave my IELTS and everything, started submitting my papers, started doing all the transcript work, all the submission. Like I think there are 5, 6 pages of applications which you have to go through, and recommendations from professors and all of those things. Oh my God, I don't even remember half the things now. Then I finally was satisfied with my SOP and I applied in. That's one of the mistakes that I did, that I applied later, a little end or like start of December. But if you apply early, it's better for you. You get better scholarship, you get better a lot of things, and you get better face time with the professors, better understanding of the course and everything. But I was a little underconfident about myself. So to gain that confidence, I had a little delay in plans. Not delay, but uske wajah se a little opportunity went off. But ठीक है. I got through Parsons, SCAD, and Pratt, all of them, and a few of them gave me a scholarship, few of them didn't give me scholarship. But like I said, the sole reason was my gut feeling for the course, for the curriculum.
It's actually very motivational, So a lot of viewers who are watching this, if you are ever stuck anytime, you could reach out to Shailja. She would be happy to help, as she mentioned.
Please. I will. I will. It is a difficult process, and as designers, we tend to get stuck in that loop, that thinking that this is not good enough. So you need that extra support, extra push to say that, listen, this is good. But if you think you need to add more, this is the way to go about it. I'm going to help you. This is the process to do it now. And after 2 years of writing research papers, because research paper is also a big deal here, I can guide a little bit.
That's wonderful, Shailja. So let's talk about your journey in Pratt. And
Yes.
and
Oh my
since
God.
you just got graduated out from Pratt, so how was your experience in these 2 years?
Even after doing undergraduation in a different town, so I come from Guwahati. I come from a small town. So when I went to Pune, I was obviously very naive, a very timid, not even timid, I would say, but I just didn't assume things. I thought what it is, it is. Okay. Now, when I came to the US, it was completely different because I haven't even, like, the maximum I had gone for a vacation is South Africa. Not even Europe. So not even US, like no cultural reference, no nothing. And this was such a blank slate that I personally was ready to rewrite a lot of things about myself. I was not stuck that I have been doing something like this for the last 24 years. So I'm still going to do the same because everything was different, from the weather, from the environment, from the people, from the regular type of food that you eat, and everything. So I was ready to accept and adapt and change. And that's what my journey in Pratt is about. It's first of all about adapting, second, it's about changing, and third is about accepting that change. Like in 3 short letters, that's it. Because when I came to Pratt and when I started doing design management, that time in India, there were not many design houses which gives you like graphic designing also under one house, advertising also, video film designing also. But of course, over the last 3 years, a lot of them has come now. But 3 years back, it was not there. And that was my first agenda when I wrote my SOP, and when I spoke to Mary when she asked me what my agenda was. That's what I told her, that I want to have a communication design house in India, because that's what it's missing. And after 2 years of understanding how design as one subject can influence sustainability, longevity of the earth, taking care of the environment, taking care of the people, still making money out of it, still trying to become a very successful person, because that's what designers do. They are always behind something bigger than expected. So I get it. I understand that. And that's how Pratt changed me. And um, that was my 2 years were about. I was constantly focusing, all our assignments were focused about sustainability, all the projects that we have to do, all the so one thing with Pratt was that all the first of all, in 2 years we have like 42 credits, which is crazy. Which is crazy. So which means you don't even get breathing time. So when you don't get that breathing time, what happens is that your mind is constantly working for one thing or the other. Okay. And that resulted in some of the projects being about sustainability, no food waste, you know, thinking about grocery shopping in the US, and thinking about global changes, and, the environmental changes that's happening now. And COVID also played a very important role in our deciding for our thesis and everything. So that was, COVID comes a little later, but I'll start now. And then one of the things was that we were thinking also about, at the same time, how to build any product or any service also for people, because sustaining people and sustaining the earth is how you're going to build a better 2050. So the entire goal was like that. And since we have 42 credits, all the semesters were focused on like this many subjects. So like 4 subjects, and this is the 4 subjects going back to back. So there was an entire process of chain of thought which changed entirely. So after doing leadership, so the first half of the course is like understanding leadership, understanding management. Then it goes into talking about a little bit about accounts and finances, because that's also you need to know. You need to understand the balance sheet and all of those things. Then after that, the third was laws and negotiation, and how to pitch yourself, how to promote yourself. And then our last stretch was design futures, and like building design for 2050. Now that you know all the other three things, how are you going to do it? And our capstone was that you need to build a product or a service where you have to think about. So again, Pratt focuses a lot on something called United Nations Sustainability Development Goals, UNSDGs. So which is a big sustainability development goals. A lot of company have started taking it. There are 18 goals which you focus on, and this is what my education for the last 2 years have been about, focusing on these two things and creating products and services which would help them. So that's how the entire capstone also comes into being. And capstone is for 1 year, whereas thesis is for 6 years, 6 months. Capstone is for like entire year. So our thesis is capstone. So 1 year you are building a project, you are changing, you are doing an entire research, you are doing a market research, you are sending out surveys, you are doing interviews with people, you are doing, then you are thinking about how to go out of the box, you are thinking about those creative things, those designer things which you were meant to do. But this is just a mix of business and design, and it's just making you think like, I wouldn't say a better designer, but I would say a more futuristic designer, because our future is about saving our planet now.
That's
One of
really
the major
wonderful.
futures.
And it sounds really exciting, the amount of research and effort that went into that project and thesis. That's
Not just one project. This is to just one project. Every project, we get like 5 weeks to do it. In that 5 weeks, we have to write two papers, two presentations, two videos, which and two papers. I know people in India, we are very, we don't know what papers are. And the first time I had the opportunity to write a paper, I couldn't go more than a page. I couldn't write more than a page because I didn't know what to do, and I am a good writer. I write. So like entire idea of researching with writing that research paper so that the other person understands it, not just you understand it. That entire process is very eye opening.
talk about the amount of exposure you got from your faculty and the support, and how was the external meetings with your alumni and stuff.
Oh my God, so crazy. Reaching out people on LinkedIn. We were talking to our seniors, so many guest lecturers in our course, because this course, in 2020, it happened, was like 25 years. It started in 1995, design management at Pratt. So it took 25 years. So there has been a lot of professionals who have come to do this, gone back into their profession, and a lot of them. There was the creative director of La Pan, the cafe. So he did design management from Pratt. So he came to speak about that. There are four companies who started with their capstone thesis, and now they are companies. So they came spoke to us about it. Exposure with professors. See, so this course specifically, I'm telling you, it's a very education course. It's not more of a much industry experience at once, but the professors who come to teach us, they are industry people working in the industry. There are like very few full-time professors who come for the leadership things, who have done leadership, a lot of leadership in their life, who have been a VP, a chairperson in different companies and in different things. So with that experience they come. And with our professors, so our advertising professors were working in a very big advertising firm in New York, and still teaching Pratt and NYU. So a lot of people, a lot of professors in the US do it. So that was one of my favorite things, because they talk about industry. They tell you about, they give you assignments which they would be doing, which they got sometime in the starting of the career. So that it just starts your thought process building like a professional. That's the type of the exposure you get from your professors, because since they are working professors, and with your seniors, with everything they tell you about the experience, about how they took it. Because again, design management is, the course is like a water. If you put it in a glass, it's going to take a shape of a glass. If you put it in a bottle, it's going to take a shape of a bottle. So a lot of architects come to the course. They do design management. They go back and do project management at architect firm. Whereas some people start a business from scratch. So they tell you their experiences, how they went about it, how they started with a different job but ended up getting the dream job because of the degree. And and that's, yeah, that's one of the great ways even I started to get motivated about things, because I was lost. I was still lost. I knew that there is something that bigger I want to do, but how to do it? I kind of like 10% I still am, because I'm still looking for jobs right now. That's a weird situation, but yeah.
So how was your experience in terms of getting internships and also the jobs?
So the thing is that I worked in college. I didn't take an internship out, because first of all, in first year you can't take a internship out. You have to work in your college if you want to work. So that experience was also very nice. I worked with a different department. It was a different responsibility altogether, and it was like a 3 hours break every day just from studying. So even that was nice. Then in the second year, because the COVID hit, I was doing some freelance projects and I was doing some personal projects of my own, which I wanted to do, which I've been thinking of doing. But it is advisable for this course not to do an internship if you have started as a full time student, because it is a very hectic course. You will be doing jitna, it's not just education course, this course. It's an entire work, it's a professional course. So, how much internship is giving you an exposure? More or less, the only the education is also giving you similar exposure. You're working on similar projects, but it's just that you're leading here. In an internship, you are just doing something what somebody is telling you. But in these courses, in this thing, I'm leading. Like we had to do assignment with target, so we were leading the target team. We were just not sidees interns who were just assisting. So that was a good part, I would say. But there are, if you want to do different courses, there are some places in the last semester where you can do internships, and people do get a lot of internships here. But yes, I got a lot of freelance opportunities. I started just randomly talking to people, just talking to people, that's it.
That's wonderful, Shailja. So let's talk about your life in New York now. Like
Oh my
staying
god.
away from the country. How was it?
I might get emotional for this content because it's a very emotional topic. It is amazing because you have all the freedom you need here. Some of the things in India is like if you have been in the town where you have grown up, where your family is, everybody knows you around you. You cannot go do something crazy. You cannot laugh on the road so crazy. Simple things. So that way it is extremely drastically changed as a culture because they don't care what you wear and go. They don't care if you're sitting on the road and singing to yourself. They don't care if you are top to bottom dressed in Louis Vuitton. It's still going to rain. It's still going to puddle and make it crazy for you. New York doesn't wait for you. But one of the major things that I learned and I love my life here is that my personal routine here. I I'm not a morning person, but over the last 2 years of education and everything, and I understanding how much time I need to be awake and keep doing the work, being that responsible, starting to take that responsibility in my head. Like now in my job finding times and everything, like I am just sleeping for 6 hours. My mind automatically wakes up, and I think that is a competition, like not a competition, like New York doesn't care, right? But you need to prove yourself here, and when you need to prove yourself here, you on your own, everything starts changing. And one of the amazing things, one of the best cultures that I like about New York is a circular economy regarding furniture and regarding things like that. So whenever people are moving out or anything, they don't want to carry, or they are shifting to another friend's house or something, they have everything. They just leave everything on the footpath, and you can go pick it up. It's for free. I have 8 furniture items in my room, including and plus 3 chairs, out of which I just bought one chair and only 3 furniture pieces. Like rest 10 items I have just randomly picked from the streets, and that's amazing. That's amazing. I love it. It feels such a personal satisfaction. And so that's one of the cultures. Then another culture is like New Yorkers will keep walking straight. But if you stop us, I'm calling myself a New Yorker, but if you stop us and if you ask for help, we will tell you which train to take on how to go about it. So it's a very, you are on your own, but if you need me, I'm here for you culture, which made me personally like that. I have to do everything on my own. Like literally, I was shifting a bookshelf, which was like, I think 15 kgs. And that time, randomly, I think my dad called and I was like, you know what, buy right now. Or if my driver G is with you, please call, like, show him on the video call so that he can tell me how do I get this thing inside? How do I pack it? I was missing my driver G more than anybody. I called him. I was like, driver G, please tell me how to pack. So, all of these things. Plus, I feel staying away from India has made me more Indian. Not a lot of people say this, and it doesn't happen, I feel, with a lot of people, but I have gone to appreciate a lot of things about Indian culture now. A lot of things, like from food to anything. Like I haven't restored to American fooding. Like I can't. I still need my poha and chai sometimes in the morning. Like नहीं करना है. Avocado and smoothie है, coffee है, but you need your fuel into you. And so that's how, like, I've started random appreciation for things. So that's good. Like now I'm waiting for Ganesh Chaturthi to come so that there is a South Indian temple here which gives amazing prasad, and I'm waiting to go to the temple to have that vibe. But I wasn't like that. I was too much into like, no, my career, I'm gonna go out, be with my friends. And here everything is balanced because you need to balance it. You automatically feel like. So that's my New York experience. And in the 2 years, my geography, like I was always very good at geography, but the subway systems have made me so sharp about directions. It's amazing.
How did design education had shaped you into better design?
Let me start by when I started design, right? I was very oblivious and naive. I just thought design is graphic designing, interior designing, and fashion design. I'm not kidding. I just came with that and I was like, I don't want to do fashion. I'm not good with interiors and everything. Like, I don't get that point. I'm going to do graphic designing. ठीक है, logos बनाना है, advertisements बनाना है, posters बनाना है. Okay, let me see. The first time when I entered college and I saw this amazing, beautiful world around me, from that moment, I started changing myself drastically. So I think that's how design education makes you into a better designer, because design is something which you don't learn in school. If your parents are designer, only then you understand what designing is. Or if somebody very close to you is a designer, somebody who's older but close to you is a designer. But we are a family of business people. We are like full business खानदान से आती हूँ मैं, तो मेरे पास कुछ वो था ही नहीं. तो design education, when undergrad started, it started opening me for topics, for different types of things I want to do, different types of things I want to show on video, because I thought that was my brain limitation till then. But when I went back and I was still using some of my design fundamental ideas for doing social media marketing, or for doing marketing work for my dad, and how I was using basics of design, that's how I realized that the entire 4 years that I have educated, that cannot go on waste, because it's a skill. It's like riding a cycle. If you ride it after 4 years also, you're still going to know how you are riding a cycle. Okay. So that's what I think, like design education starts influencing your thoughts in such a way that even if you're not doing 100% design work, if you're doing a business work also, still you are thinking, how can I implement design fundamentals here? Still you are thinking, how can I make this more aesthetically pleasant? Still I'm thinking, how can I make it more user friendly for a customer to read it for me? Because that's how we were trained to think. So all of these small trainings and all of these small things started making me into a better designer. Now, the education in design management has changed me completely, because now I'm not just a designer, I'm a business designer. I want to design businesses for which would create better things for the world. Not just like टेक्नोलॉजी में एडवांसमेंट जाना है तो मेरे को उसके लिए प्रोडक्ट या सर्विस क्रिएट करना है. Not like that. For our capstone, our theme was gender education, gender literacy, and I didn't even know what gender literacy means. People don't even know that. When I asked some of my friends in India who are like very new parents, and my bhabhi and everything, they're like, what is this even? And here, not just here, but because of this entire thought process, I started thinking that why are kids, when a kid is born, why are they given a pink or a blue dress? Why are they gonna do this? Why are they gonna go as a sheep of the herd? If they are gonna dress orange, they wanna dress orange. If they wanna dress in shorts and like in if a guy want to, this is a very bad thing. I still do a guy and a girl, but just to for my making to understand. When a guy, if they want to dress up a small boy, if he wants to wear a fairy princess dress and go for the Frozen movie, he should be able to. And at the same time, if a girl child wants to go for a Spider-Man movie, or have that all the Spider-Man things and have that all the dragon things in her house, in her room, that's what she's fascinated for. That's how that brain is gonna start working. How can you limit a brain of a child? You shouldn't. You are That's how the herd was being made. Year after year, all the kids are happening in the same way. But why? Not anymore. So that's how the education made me into a better designer, because I have changed my entire thought process of design. I'm just not a designer to make things aesthetically beautiful now. I'm a designer because I want to do something good for the world. And designers have the ability to think outside the box. We have the ability to do something different. I feel that very, very strongly. And not just like all creative people or something, but designers, because they understand human interaction, how somebody is going to interact with your final product, is one of the most important things that I feel it's extremely out of the box. And that's how the education at Pratt was very, very amazing. Like the professors, we used to have such amazing discussions in classroom. I went yesterday to the class, and I was just to college just to see everybody after 1 year of shutting down, and we didn't get to see everybody when we were graduating and blah blah blah. Literally, it felt like my brain is just like, for the last 3 months since I was applying, it was just in एक track पे जा रहा. ठीक है? And when I spoke to my professors yesterday, and when I spoke to my classmates yesterday, it was so different. Like it just felt like my brain has given a fresh start, a jerk. So your normal thought processes also changes when you have a different set of design education. And for me, both the things what I did, nobody guided me. I did it because I felt like this is where I belong. And my parents were supporting me continuously. My mom is like, you are meant for this, go do it, go do it, go do it. My dad is like, you're meant for something bigger. I know you're gonna do great things, blah blah blah. So a mix of both of those things and a mix of everything, I think, helped me be where I am today and helped me have a clear set of mind, because now it's been 8 years since I've been studying design. So I know different parts of it. So
That's wonderful, Shailja. Thank you so much for sharing your inspiring journey with us. We are looking forward to host you again in our upcoming episodes.
I will. And anybody, once again, I'm telling you, anybody you wanna talk to me, reach out to me. I swear, even if I'm not able to reply immediately because a lot of things are going on, I will help you.
Cut.
God, this was so good.